I was, like many of you, kind of brought up to believe that a quitter was like a terrible thing to be. It was very much in my house about like trying your best and your best being good enough. But the line of like delineation of that was murky, right? Like trying your best meant giving 1000% of your effort and thinking of all of the options and managing your time and doing everything you possibly can. Like that's doing your best. And so sometimes I would do my best and maybe it would look like that wasn't enough. And it created this issue of enoughness. So still as an adult, as a teacher, as a professional, as a wife, as a human, I do try to do my best. I also, though, am coming to continually recognize that my best is not like definable by anyone else, nor is it something that I can compare to others. So in my little core group, the people who love me, I quit things a lot. I quit all the time. I think I'm going to quit something today. I quit more than anyone I know. But I fucking try more than anything I know. And I don't quit because I can't. I quit because it doesn't align, because it doesn't feel good, because I decide that the return on the investment or the energy or the whatever isn't worth it. And so I will quit things because I don't want to be uncomfortable. And then there are other things that I will see through because I enjoy it. So for a long time, this was a wound for me. Like a superpower is that I can kind of get any job or opportunity typically. A thing I was made to feel shameful about is that I leave. Is that like I could work really hard to get this job and change careers and then 6 months later be like, this is a toxic environment, but I can't do anything with only 6 months of this career in my resume. I probably can't go somewhere else, so I'll just like quit. I'll just figure something else out. That's been my life. And I recognize there's like a point of privilege to that. Pre-John, it was a similar vibe. And, you know, I was always just figuring out how not to be hungry, but how not to be miserable. And a lot of us get really tied to this childhood idea of like trying our best and making it fit and not quitting. And there is, again, I am all about best efforts, but there is something to be said for the fact that like sometimes the opportunity that we get just doesn't end up being what it was supposed to be or what we thought it would be as it was described. Sometimes the very act of quitting is the exercise. Sometimes, again, we refer back to our energy budget and we're like, you know what? This is actually just looking at how I want to factor my energy budget. This doesn't work for me. So it's okay. It's okay to quit. And I used to feel shameful or embarrassed about it only because I remember the stories my parents would tell, like associated with people who like couldn't keep a job or couldn't decide what they were wanting to do or were just wasting all of their potential, And every time I quit or pivot, I would feel like I was just embodying those people that were clearly disappointing because I heard them being talked about growing up. And now I am fresh out of fucks for anyone's opinion. I got a yoga gig I was excited about. I teach yoga very close to my house. Yoga's, again, not a super profitable thing. It's only a 1 hour endeavor. So I made a rule internally that I would not drive more than 5 or 10 minutes to teach a yoga class. And then I got an opportunity I was like really interested in. And now I drive 30 minutes. And it's a low attended class. And so the energetic exchange, the vibes, the feelings, all these things feel very off. And I find myself not looking forward to it. And anytime in my life, as I'm building this life that is fabulous, excuse me, first video sneeze. I am building this life that is fabulous, but every time that I have something in my day I want to complain about or I'm just not into, I'm draining some of the fabulousness from it. And so I was thinking that today, like, how am I going to go today and be like, hey, I want to love this. Here's why it's not working for me. Here's why I think we need to put a pin in it. And if we're able to bring it back in a few months with more people and a different vibe, then I'm happy to, you know, not be bothered by the commute. But right now, I just can't go against my wishes, which is a long commute, to come teach a class for one person in an environment that isn't set up for that, right? It's not private yoga, it's a different. And typically I would call my husband, I would call my friend, I'd like talk to 4 more people, like, I think I'm gonna quit, should I, when should I? And I'm just over that. I'm empowered in myself. I have no shame. I do not leave things on bad terms because I want to be kind, cool, collected. When I have quit and left things on bad terms, it's been because I knew it was time for me to go, and I made myself stay for someone else or for some reason for an extra week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And every time I'm somewhere I don't belong, my nervous system is so activated that then all it takes is one little poke, someone just boop, and I'm like, hurrah! So I'm just gonna quit before that happens. There's nothing wrong with quitting. There's nothing wrong with having that energy budget and all these healthy boundaries and being like, you know what? You're great, I'm great. This doesn't align for me. Catch you next time. It doesn't have to be some big thing. And when we take that bet on the universe, when we listen to our intuition, when we trust, something else comes in, right? If I drop these 2 yoga classes a week, I am making myself available for something else to come in and take that. If I'm going to have a long commute in my life, maybe I'd rather drive and start doing comedy gigs further away. Or maybe I will just go visit my friend in Mesa more often. Like if I'm spending $1 bajillion on gas right now to drive for 30 minutes, I want to drive 30 minutes for joy, not 30 minutes for Because in this life I'm designing, I don't have any more room for I want joy. And for years and years and years, the thing that has dampened my joy was the ways that I worried about what everybody else would think, or what that stupid paper resume would say, or if I was missing this or failing that or whatever. And every time I mull it over, I'm like dampening my intuition, because like my soul knows. Meg knows. Megan is like, I don't know. What should I do? This is an opportunity. It'll look good on your resume. Just suffer for another 10 months. And Meg is like, baby girl, that's not the jam. So I'm going to listen to Meg. I'm going to have an incredibly awkward conversation today. And I'm going to quit in whatever capacity I am meant to, because I trust myself. I trust my journey. And I'm not going to suffer, big, small, anymore, on my own accord. There's not a lot that we can control in this life. But if we can control it, then we can change it. As always, 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 the change starts from ourselves. And always, always, always comes from a place of love. Cheers.